now transmit you direct to the laboratory of Captain Zero. Please stand by.
That's it. Micro.
Yes, sir.
Send Jet up to my laboratory immediately.
I will if I can wake him up, Captain.
You mean he's fallen asleep again?
Sounds like a light. Guess he still hasn't recovered from that trip out into space yesterday.
Okay, let him sleep. But put Tetro in charge of the electro chamber, and you come up here instead. On the double.
Yes, sir. What's up, Captain?
We're going to activate the time machine back to the year 451 AD.
451 AD? That's over 1,500 years ago.
I know. Stand by.
What's so important about the year 451 AD?
The Battle of Shalom. One of the most decisive battles since the beginning of time, and the first major turning point in the history of the civilized world.
First major turning point in the history of the civilized world? What do you mean?
Look, for the first time in history, Europe was united into two camps. The great Roman Gothic army against the warring tribes of Attila the Hun. Civilization against barbarianism. Christianity against paganism. The East against the West.
Well, just who was this Attila the Hun?
One of the most ruthless and feared barbarians of all time. The terror of all Europe for over 20 years. He called himself the Scourge of God. Believed he was put on Earth to punish the human race.
Sounds like he did a pretty good job of it.
Well, he certainly hastened the downfall of the Roman Empire.
You mean he defeated the Romans?
No, the Romans won.
Well, then what are you so concerned about? Why risk going back into time over 1,500 years just to find out what you already know?
Because there's something I don't understand. Attila should have won that battle. He had more warriors, better horsemen, superior archers and javelin throwers, and he was fighting on a battlefield of his own choice. Yet he lost.
How do you account for that?
I don't. But there are indications that something happened on the eve of battle, causing great fear and apprehension in the camp of Attila. We're going back and find out what it was.
You are the target of those who would trample the liberties of free men. You are in the crosshairs of the bomb sight. An enemy is centering on you. You are a citizen of the free world. You may live in an industrial city, perhaps in a great port city with its burdened wharves, a farming area with fertile fields and grazing herds, a mining region rich with vital ores and minerals. You are the target. Our president has told us that even against the most powerful defense, an aggressor in possession of an effective number of atomic bombs could cause hideous damage. Today, in the age of hydrogen weapons, evacuation from target areas is our best assurance of survival.
warning on the radio. Karen Daly!
News? What do they say?
They don't know how bad the radiation is yet.
The news, man. What is it?
America's been attacked. H-bombs, maybe. They aren't sure yet.
But don't they say what to do? Where to go? My wife and kid, I can't find them.
Attention, please. The following information is important. It could mean the difference between life and death for you and your family.
I am Val Peterson. I know that you have all heard about hydrogen bombs. Perhaps, too, you have heard of something called radioactive fallout, which comes from both atomic and hydrogen weapons. As Federal Civil Defense Administrator, I'd like to talk to you about that. For if this country is ever subjected to an enemy attack, what I'm going to show you now might someday save your life. First, let's take a look at this sketch. The familiar mushroom of the atomic or hydrogen bomb. Notice these particles falling out of the cloud. This is an artist's conception of fallout. Actually, what happens is this. If the bomb explodes close to the ground or into the ground, thousands of tons of pulverized earth and stones and brick and steel particles are sucked up into the cloud, 40 or 50,000 feet or more into the air. These particles become highly radioactive. Much of this material spills out of the mushroom cloud around the point of explosion. The rest is carried along by the winds for some distance before it falls to the earth. This second sketch shows how the cloud has begun to break up and to drift with the winds. Now here is one highly significant point. Radioactive fallout can occur from an absolutely clear sky. You do not have to see the atomic cloud itself over your head to be in a fallout area. This sketch will give you a general idea of the fallout pattern. This being the city which is the target city, the material will fall out over a considerable area downwind from the target. Now, I'm not here to try and frighten you. As a matter of fact, Americans just don't scare easily anyway. And it's a good thing that they don't in this atomic age. But it is a part of my job as Federal Civil Defense Administrator to give you the facts. Here they are, as far as we know them at this time. All nuclear weapons, atomic and hydrogen bombs alike, produce radioactivity. With the smaller atomic weapons, we did not have to worry too much about fallout. With the larger atomic bombs, and especially with hydrogen weapons, radioactive dust will fall to Earth far beyond the range of fire and blast in the direction of the prevailing winds at the time of the explosion. Now, as you can see, fallout will be a threat not only to so-called target areas, but to many smaller communities far removed from the cities under attack. And in fact, to every farmer living within the area, downwind from the target area and over the distance that the wind may carry these radioactive particles. As a matter of fact, the communities that lie downwind may very well have to withdraw their people from the danger zone laterally, and there will be time because radioactive fallout takes a considerable time to occur. Or the people will have to get into shelters of some type or other, or we may have to do these two things somewhat simultaneously. Now, I won't mince words with you. If you happen to be caught downwind in the path of the fallout and without any shelter, and if you don't get into shelter just as rapidly as you can, these radioactive particles could cause your death, or they may cause you serious injury, depending upon the degree of contamination and other factors. So much for the threat. Now, what are we going to do about it? We are still learning things about the behavior of radioactive fallout from the larger weapons. But for the present, we do know enough about the size and power of modern weapons and the radioactive waste they produce to begin planning how we can best protect ourselves. Basically, there are only two things you need to know how to do to protect your life. One is to evacuate your city before the bomb falls, because obviously, if you are caught in the open near ground zero, you won't have to worry about radiation. The bomb itself will kill you.
If you have a basement, that is your best shelter against the outside wall closest to the probable point of detonation. Any high explosive force collapses a structure at its weakest point and may form a natural safe area. It is just common sense to use this area to build a lean-to shelter. This type is inexpensive and easy to build. The basement box-type shelter is stronger, larger, and more comfortable. Outdoors, you can build an earth-covered shelter which affords the best protection against blast, fire, radiation, and radioactive fallout.
Get him, Captain? I think so. Watch the chamber. Yes, he's coming in. Good, he's in.
Golly, thanks, Captain. I thought I was done for.
Not close yet. And I certainly hope you've learned to be more careful where you fall asleep.
Yes, sir.
Say, Captain, we still haven't found out why Adler lost that battle. You're right. Refocus the view screen. Yes, sir. So that's it. So what's what? The sword of Mars disappeared on the eve of battle. And without their symbol of superiority, the superstitious Huns became fearful. And so lost the Battle of Shalon. Boys and girls, greetings, fellow Z-men. I want to tell you how you can become a commissioned officer of the Zero Explorers in time and space and receive an official space passport and identification card. This passport entitles you to travel in accredited spaceships to any planet in our solar system. It also contains my official signature and photograph, as well as regulations for space travel and procedure for rocket ship blast-off. Just send your name and address to me, Captain Zero, in care of this station. Your letter will be forwarded to my laboratory by guided missile, and I will immediately send you your official space passport and identification card. So, till we meet again, fellow Z-men, good luck in time and space. Be sure to be standing by when we again transmit you to this remote location on the planet Earth, where Captain Zero and his associates will conduct another experiment